Today's terror attack in Jerusalem was a painful reminder of some of the darkest chapters in Israel's history. This morning, 2 Palestinian gunmen opened fire on a bus stop, killing 6 people and wounding many others. Ordinary people just wanting to get to school or work were turned into targets. For Israelis, this brings back memories of the Intifada of the 1990s and 2000s. Back then, stepping out of your house and doing mundane tasks like getting on a bus was playing Russian roulette with your life. Because terrorism that included suicide bombings, shootings, stabbings, explosions in crowded markets and malls, and religious celebrations became a part of everyday life. But here's the lesson that history has taught us. Those tactics did not bring a Palestinian state then, and they won't bring a Palestinian state now. In the 1990s, there was still a widespread belief that if the Palestinians had their own state, Israelis would finally know calm. But that belief has been tested by experience. Israel left Gaza in 2005. Every Jewish person, dead or alive, including bodies from Jewish cemeteries, were removed from the Gaza Strip. And this was an extremely painful removal of Israelis by their own government. Afterwards, Gaza became, in effect, a Palestinian territory on the way to statehood. And what did we see? Not peace and prosperity, but Hamas rockets, terror tunnels, and repeated wars that led to October 7th, 2023, the single worst massacre of Jews and supporters of Israel since the Holocaust. That experiment shows us what today's attack reinforces. Violence does not bring Palestinians closer to independence. It pushes it farther away. It deepens mistrust. It hardens hearts. It crushes empathy, and it convinces Israelis that any future Palestinian state would become a launch pad for further attacks. It also forces Israelis to increase their security processes, to increase their security protocols at checkpoints. And can you blame them? I mean, America increased security after the Pan Am Flight 103 bombing over Lockerbie, the shoe bomber in 2001, and of course 9/11. And when these security measures are implemented in Israel, it inconveniences ordinary Palestinians. And we should also be very clear about something else. This is what American college students are screaming for when they chant to globalize the Intifada. They aren't calling for resistance in the abstract. They're calling for more mornings like this one. Innocent people gunned down at bus stops. Parents not making it home to their children. When they glorify the Intifada, this is the deadly reality they are endorsing. And Palestinians themselves tell us their goal. They're not hiding it. They openly declare that their fight is not only against Israel, but against America as well. The same ideology that brings terror to Jerusalem brought down the Twin Towers. In just a couple of days, we'll mark the 24th anniversary of 9/11. And yet, this worldview, killing civilians to achieve political goals, still drives attacks today. And so you can see this is not just Israel's struggle. This is a global struggle against people who embrace Western freedoms versus those who embrace death and 7th century ideologies. So let's be clear. Terrorism has never worked to achieve political goals. It failed during the Intifada. It failed after 9/11. It failed after Gaza disengagement, and it will fail again today. Because these attacks do not advance a cause. They destroy it. But the cause was never to build a state. It was to destroy Israel, and that's going to fail too. But here's one way terror does succeed. It paints Israel as the villain. Every person who buys into that false narrative, who blames Israel rather than the attackers, who twists themselves into a pretzel to blame the victim rather than the person who caused the violence, helps fuel more hatred, more division, and ultimately more violence. Today's act of cowardly terrorism has ripped apart 6 additional families. And my heart goes out to all of those mourning today. But I'm going to tell you a secret about Israel and terrorism. No matter how horrible these attacks are, Israelis refuse to live in fear. The goal of terrorism is to terrorize, to prevent people from living their lives. But here in Israel, people still go to work, still take their kids to school, still walk the streets, still ride the buses, still go to restaurants, still enjoy their lives. We live, and we do it in a country where we have a history dating back thousands of years. The Jews are the comeback story dating back millennia. And that is resilience. That is our strength.